Have you ever imagined caring less about what you can't control? Indifference, far from being apathy, is a transformative power that frees us from drama and teaches us to focus on what truly matters. It's about finding balance even when everything seems to be falling apart around you. And you, how do you deal with things beyond your control? Comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Nature is a master of reuse, transforming what seems like waste into a new opportunity for life. Think about the cycle of leaves. What falls to the ground becomes fertile soil, nourishing new trees. Isn't that amazing? It's as if the earth has a secret workshop where every bit of matter is masterfully recycled. Now, imagine applying this to your daily life. Have you considered turning something you discard, like a rejected idea or an unfinished project, into a foundation for something new? The potential is infinite when we look at things with nature's ingenuity. On the other hand, balance is the key to this process. Just as nature only takes what it needs, we can be inspired to avoid excess and cultivate harmony. Consider a simple practice. The next time you go shopping, ask yourself if you really need that item. A tidy wardrobe or a streamlined schedule can be as powerful as a forest in its life cycle. Small actions can create significant transformations. Ultimately, beauty lies in the harmony of the whole, not in extremes. Just as the tides follow the moon, we can also find our natural rhythm. Instead of forcing outcomes, let your actions flow like nature's eternal cycles. This connects us to a greater balance, one that is not only practical, but also deeply spiritual. Speaking of harmony, the next step is to understand how to fight our own lower impulses, even when no one is holding us accountable. After all, true power lies in self-discipline. Even with all the power of an emperor, Marcus Aurelius recognized the hardest battle: the internal struggle between the higher self and the lower impulses. He knew that having absolute power didn't mean giving in to whims. On the contrary, it was an invitation to be even more disciplined. Think about everyday moments, like resisting the temptation to spend on something unnecessary or choosing health over momentary pleasure. It's not easy, but every small victory strengthens the muscle of self-control. Being human means having desires, but the secret is not to be enslaved by them. A practical exercise is setting small daily goals, such as setting aside 10 minutes to reflect on your choices or practicing gratitude for simple things. These moments help elevate the mind beyond immediate impulses. After all, choosing what's right, even when no one is watching, is a sign of strength. And that strength comes from a constant commitment to your best self. By resisting impulses, you make room for something greater, a life of purpose. It's not about perfection, but about direction. How can you today choose what brings you closer to your ideal? Start small. Avoid impulsive reactions or decide on an unexpected act of generosity. This is how we build character and prepare for bigger decisions. Speaking of which, have you subscribed to our channel? Let's dive even deeper into life-changing philosophy. Indifference is not apathy, as many believe, but the art of not being swayed by what doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius understood that much of human suffering comes from giving importance to what's beyond our control. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, and instead of getting annoyed, you choose to listen to an interesting podcast or reflect on something positive. This simple shift in perspective turns frustration into opportunity. Adopting this philosophy isn't easy at first, but it's liberating. When you stop worrying about others' opinions or outcomes you can't influence, you begin to act with greater clarity. A practical exercise is asking yourself, will this matter a year from now? Often, the answer will be no. With this practice, you learn to channel energy into what truly makes a difference, like your goals and personal values. This emotional detachment creates space for more rational and wise decisions. After all, when you're calm, you can see solutions where others only see problems. It's like navigating a calm sea, even when storms loom in the distance. But of course, letting go of outcomes takes practice and patience. And this is precisely where the importance of dealing with attachment and its consequences comes in, a theme we'll explore next. Attachments make us believe we need to hold on to the uncontrollable, but Marcus Aurelius saw it differently. Suffering arises from resisting the natural flow of things. Imagine holding sand in your hands. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. The same happens with expectations and fears. Insisting on keeping what's temporary only brings anxiety and frustration. The secret is to redirect your energy toward lasting values. Instead of worrying about instant success, ask yourself, does this decision align with what truly matters to me? Small gestures can change everything. For example, simplifying your routine or even donating unused items is a practical way to let go. When you choose to value the essential, you experience freedom that transcends material things. And more, letting go isn't losing, but gaining space for something new. Marcus reminds us that by accepting impermanence, we see the beauty in the present moment. Everything is temporary, but that's not a reason for sadness. It's an invitation to appreciate what we have here and now. Adopting this view helps us see the world from a broader, almost cosmic perspective. A universe where everything is connected and balanced, something we'll delve into further ahead. When Marcus Aurelius looked at the cosmos, he saw more than stars. He saw a greater order, a harmony where everything is interconnected. Think about it. Every falling leaf, every crashing wave, they all follow a universal choreography. Likewise, our lives are part of this grand spectacle. Having this perspective broadens our view. Suddenly, small problems seem insignificant when placed alongside the vastness of the universe. This awareness helps us embrace the interconnectedness of everything around us. When you begin to see that even challenges play a role in life's balance, something shifts. A delay at work might be the pause you needed to reorganize your thoughts. The rain that spoils a trip is the same phenomenon that nourishes the fields. To practice this, try viewing each obstacle as a piece in a larger puzzle that's still coming together. By seeing the world this way, we find serenity. There's comfort in knowing we're exactly where we should be, part of something far greater than ourselves. This perspective also prepares us to handle adversity, turning it into opportunities for growth. After all, it's in facing difficulties that we train our virtues, a theme we'll reflect on next. For Marcus Aurelius, adversity wasn't an enemy, but an ally on the path to virtue. It's in the toughest moments that we're challenged to grow. Think of an athlete who only becomes stronger by facing resistance. The same goes for the mind and spirit. Every problem is a weight that helps us develop patience, courage, and wisdom. Perhaps that mistake at work or a personal conflict is exactly what you need to reach a new version of yourself. Facing difficulties as opportunities may seem counterintuitive, but it's incredibly powerful. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? It could be a lesson in resilience or a warning to change your approach. For example, a professional critique could be an opportunity to refine your skills. Use obstacles as steps. After all, that's what they're there for. And more. Adversity prepares us for bigger decisions, the ones that truly shape who we are. It's like constant training, where every difficult situation is a lesson in acting wisely, not impulsively. When we embrace this view, we realize that even in imperfection, we can move toward our ideal. And that ideal is something worth pursuing, as we'll explore next. Marcus Aurelius knew that the ideal of perfection was unattainable, but that didn't stop him from pursuing it. He saw this effort as a noble goal, a guiding light for his daily actions. Imagine it as aiming for a distant star. You may never reach it, but its glow lights the way. In everyday life, this pursuit can be as simple as making decisions that reflect integrity, justice, and generosity. Every choice matters. It's not about a frantic race, but a constant journey. A practical example is creating a daily ritual to align your actions with your values. It could be writing 3 things you did well that day, or planning how to improve tomorrow. These practices are like steps toward your ideal self. Over time, they add up and shape who you are, even if imperfection still plays a part in the journey. The true beauty of this effort lies in accepting that the ideal is a guide, not a destination. Acceptance of failure combined with the determination to keep trying strengthens us. After all, it's in this balance between aspiration and humility that we find meaning. At the end of this reflection, what do you truly want to build for yourself? This is the invitation we leave for you to explore even more deeply. Now that you know the power of indifference, it's time to put it into practice. What are you holding on to that you shouldn't? What doesn't deserve so much space in your mind and heart? Remember, it's not about abandoning everything, but choosing wisely where to place your energy. Ask yourself daily, does this really matter? I'd love to hear from you. What small step can you take today to let go of what you can't control? Comment below. I'm eager to follow your journey. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next content that will continue transforming your life. Oh, and there's a recommended video here on the screen waiting for you. It's the next step to expanding your vision and freeing yourself even more. Click and keep evolving.